Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Music in the air on Outdoors with Larry Ray as we talk turkey. We're closing out today's show. Before we close it out with some more fun from the guys in the studio here, let me tell you about next week's show, because we are hoping to have Jordan Lee, the Bassmaster Classic champion, on next week's show. It'll be 5th Saturday. I said on my form sheet 5th Sunday. I'm really way ahead of time. 5th Saturday, bonus Saturday. It means that Dave Gabbert, Gene Smith, and our poet laureate himself, the only outdoor show that I know of, has got their own outdoor poet. And Charlie Covington will be here next week to talk about that. And this, I'm really keyed up about this. 13-year-old Casey Kofold of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. She recently shot the highest score of any woman in U.S. history at any age, breaking the senior, junior, and cadet national records at the U.S. National Archery Indoor Championships. 13 years old, broke all the records. We're going to have Casey on next week's show. Going to talk a little bit of Birchwood Casey because everybody needs some targets and things like that right now. Then our good friend Casey Rolick from Buff. I'm big in Buff.
Buff is good.
Buff is good. If you don't have any of the Buff products, go to buff.com. They will protect you from the elements as far as sun troubles.
Yep.
And right here on the left-hand side of my nose is a spot that my dermatologist, and I love Bobby Trotman. Okay, Bobby, I know that you told me the only way you can tell the difference between a dermatologist and a doctor, the doctor shakes your hand and the dermatologist looks you all over. So, I mean, he took a plug out of my nose and he said it is cancer, but it's something that he can deal with. So wear those things. They're called Buff. Okay, guys, close it out. Appreciate you guys being with us. Fun show. I got to ask each one of you a turkey memory as you go around the room. Let's talk. Steve, what's something that stands out? Maybe an opening day memory.
Well, you were asking me, too, about my mom.
Yes.
That's a big memory for me. She thought that turkey feet, where people would cut it off, the top of the feet were so ugly, so she knitted little booties.
So that's what she really did?
That's what she did. Matter of fact, when I go to the convention, I have a pair of mine that had the little booties on there. Then all the women flocked to it, and if I knew how to knit, I would make a bunch of those things.
All right. Okay, that's good. That's cool. And Steve Reynolds, you mentioned that before we get to Charles. You mentioned those little booties on the turkeys. What's a memory for you as a turkey hunter?
Well, probably one of my favorite memories turkey hunting was taking my 80-year-old dad on his first turkey hunt, which was in the panhandle of Texas. It was the most time I ever spent with my dad. This was like 7 days in a row, just the two of us. But here I've got my 80-year-old dad climbing or crawling underneath barbed wire fences.
Yeah.
And came upon an area in the cottonwood trees and called up a couple of nice gobblers. And I'm telling my dad, I said, "Dad, do you see him?" I'm whispering to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "No." And I said, "Look down my gun barrel." I said, "Do you see him?" He said, "No." And I look at him. I said, "I mean my gun barrel, not yours." And he looks, and then you start hear this deep breathing. And I said, "On 3, we're going to shoot." And on 3, we shot, and we both harvested beautiful Rio Grande turkeys, and that's one of my favorite.
That's a great,
of all time.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a great. How about you, Charles? Turkey memory?
Well, I think one of mine is the first time I ever went to Texas, because the birds will gobble in the pitch black dark. If a coyote howls, and I'm crawling around on my legs, on my knees, trying to find my decoy stake. I can't find that. And they just got me all upset. So that was one of the fond memories for me.
I can understand that. How about you guys? You got a turkey memory, John Gordon?
Yeah, Larry, I was thinking about you. Everybody else was telling their stories.
I was giving you time.
Mine is not really a turkey that I shot, but a friend of my uncle's did that he invited to come hunt with us. We were hunting. He talking to Mike Giles there near Meridian. We were hunting near a little town called Chunky, Mississippi.
Chunky.
And Chunky is a really cool little place with a lot of turkeys around there. But
Chunky.
he'd invited his buddy Jim, and Jim grew up around New Orleans, never been turkey hunting in his life. I mean, he was from Louisiana, so that you kind of get an outlaw factor involved with those kind of folks.
Come on now, watch it now.
But I'm telling you, we went out that morning and didn't have any luck, and we're driving down the road, and there's a Jake walking down the middle of the road, and Jim just couldn't help himself, bailed out of the truck, and shot it right in the middle of the road. This is an outlaw story, like I'm telling you, but if any game wardens are listening, this is a long time ago. But anyway,
it did make an impression
but
on
the crazy
you.
thing is that there were two guys coming down the road from the opposite way, and Jim was out there in the road with a turkey in his hand. And the guys came riding up going, "Man, what'd you do, run over him or something?" And then Jim's like, "Yeah, we just ran him over." And he threw it in the back of the truck, and you could see the shotgun shell hole sitting in the middle of the road, standing on its end.
Oh,
Jim had told him he'd run it over, and
that's a memory.
We quickly killed that, but that was not a turkey that I was.
That's
shot,
okay.
it's
That's a
pretty
good
funny
memory. Yeah. How about you, Bill Cooksey?
I guess my favorites, there are a lot of them, but my son's first birds, 14 years apart,
Bill Cooksey,
and 100 yards
I want to say it again. Now, he's the fifth,
He's
right?
the fifth.
Okay.
My youngest is Bill Cooksey the fifth. But,
right.
they killed their first birds 14 years apart, but they were only 100 yards apart.
From where they killed the turkey?
Yeah.
14 years?
14 years separated those two
Amazing.
hunts, but
amazing.
yeah, they're quite an age difference. But those are my greatest memories. I cried both times, and I think that's the only times I've actually teared up on a bird.
I can understand. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, read the next month's issue of the Mid-South Hunting and Fishing magazine, and you'll read about my first turkey. Okay, we don't have time to talk about it, but it's very unique. We weren't allowed to use the word unique at the commercial appeal. I don't know why. Because there's nothing unique about it now. But I mean, in those days. But anyway, read that.
Is that the same one you left the shotgun leaning by the tree?
No, that's another story at Ames. Okay, thank you, Charles. We appreciate you bringing it up. If anybody's I still got a reward of $2 for that missing 870 Wingmaster shotgun that I left at Ames Plantation, leaning up against a tree. That all I hear about, and you brought it up again. Okay. All right, guys, thank y'all for being with us. Great. Let's hear some music out of here. This is Larry Ray reminding you it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport, and God bless the USA.